right? Then we waited for price to come into the level. Quick note about this. We had the break at 9:44, right? And we didn't come back in until 10:31, right? That is 47 minutes. It's worth even writing that down. That's a 47-minute wait. Sometimes the wait doesn't take that long, right? Sometimes it takes maybe 5 minutes, 10 minutes, sometimes 1 minute, right? Sometimes you get this and then bosh. We didn't get that. This to me is not an entry. I want to see a proper retest, right? Remember, optimal retest. Price returns to the level for confirmation, right? So this is not the move. This is the move, okay? I waited 47 minutes for this trade, right? Just bear that in mind. Now from here, why is this a liquidity absorption? So let me ask you a question, right? If there are lots of aggressive sellers here, but market breaks higher above our break line, were all of these aggressive sellers successful? Were they able to break below the zone, right? Let's just take a look at this, right? Look at this. Were any of these sellers able to break below the zone? No. In fact, they broke above the zone and they broke above our break line. This is where we pull the trigger. So liquidity absorption, we then pull the trigger after we see liquidity absorption. Very important to get that right, okay? So, and that explains the confirmation, or that explains the edge, right? So I went in 74.30 and risked, about a 1 to 1.8 risk to reward, right? So fairly happy with that trade, right? And of course my execution would have been here, right? 74.30, so roughly here, stops roughly at this area, and I was targeting the imbalance over here, right? 1 minute inefficiency. There you go, just targeting here. So that's roughly a 1 to 1.8. There you go. And I closed out majority of trade. I closed majority of the position here, okay? So I just wanted to break that down. I wanted to go through the entire bolt breakout blueprint, how I grade my setups. Now, another thing coming back to this is, BOLT, so liquidity absorption, and then I pull the trigger. So from an SOP checklist standpoint, right, what I saw, or if I were to grade my setup now, there was a perfect break line with a body. There was an optimal retest, so that would be 5 and 5. The liquidity absorption to me was very clear, right? We had a very clear liquidity absorption, sellers were trapped, and then I pulled the trigger at the break line. So this would be a 20 out of 20 bolt breakout blueprint, right? And I want you to kind of take this and kind of maybe adjust it, make it your own, try and use a similar-ish approach, but definitely have a 4-step system or a 3-step system or a 5-step system that you can use to grade all of your setups. So if you found that useful, give it a like, give it a thumbs up, and I look forward to seeing all of you in the next one.